do every day, especially when I'm working out or something like that. But, you know, as far as the Eric Holder and the whole brainwashing and weapons thing, you know, I don't know how effective that's going to be. I mean, where I work at, police officers in my department, especially me, I can't say all of them, but most of them love the new carry conceal law we have in Ohio that came about a few years ago, I think.
Yeah, that's got to scare all the bad guys, doesn't it? I mean, crime rates plunge when you have that.
You know, I think it did. We've had a few instances on the street where people have gotten robbed, and we were able to return fire from their carry concealed weapon. And that does send a message out to the street, especially when it's a lot of young punks out there.
Let me ask you a question. Are the police starting to wake up that secret arrest and things like that is not good?
Well, as far as where I work at, it's a big city in Ohio, and I don't think we've gotten to the point where we've been exposed to anything like that yet. I know I haven't. One of the things I always want to call and talk to you about is, at least from where I work, we're kind of just, we don't see ourselves as working for the government. We kind of see ourselves as local crime fighters. Okay?
Well, that's the way it should be. But my point is the feds are starting to take over, and that's why there's going to be a collision. You got record gun sales. The people say it's because they don't trust the federal government. Most of the police I talk to are awake now. Most of the military's awake. So I don't see how this is going to, basically wash out then when you've got the public waking up and the feds power grabbing.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Like you said, police officers, waking up, and a lot of them, don't necessarily have to be woken up to a certain extent because, like I said, they're innocent in their own ways of just being crime fighters. They're not out here trying to, protect dignitaries or work for corporations, or they're not trying to, make arrests at protests. We just come to work, we respond to calls that the citizens give us, and we try our best to help people out, and we try our best to get the bad guy. And sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. And, I like to think of it as we don't do what we do on a day-to-day basis on behalf of the government. We do it on behalf of honest, innocent people.
What do you do when you have these idiots that have never owned a gun and watch sitcoms and they think you're supposed to report somebody who's got a shotgun in a gun case because they're over at their house delivering, say, couches, and then they call the hotline and say, I'm over here and this guy's got a shotgun?
Well, that has never happened to me. And I could tell you a story. About a month ago, there was a 17-year-old girl that lived in a house with her parents. Of course, she had her own child at 17. She was the biggest brat in the world. She called the police because her father just realized that his wife was cheating on him. And he got angry and was, throwing things around the house, and he made a threat just to them vocally that he's going to kill this guy. Well, he was just angry. We talked to him because we got called over there because she called the police and said that she wanted him arrested and wanted him removed from the house, and she wants to confiscate his guns because he's got guns and he made threats to kill somebody and he's dangerous. Well, we showed up, basically laughed in her face, and told her that, we can't do that, and we're not going to do that. Good,
because in a lot of areas they would have taken his guns. Well, God bless you. Good to hear from you. That's what we need to hear. It's this idea of just, go after everybody, and the so-called liberals, as they call themselves, love to use the system against people, and I'm sick of it. Okay, now, again, I'm asking the military and police, though, here, what are you going to do as all this starts unfolding? Because Obama is thawing out nuclear war provisions, but he's saying for economic emergency to nationalize farms, ranches, transportation, water, everything. And even mainline scholars, it's all over the news, are saying this is martial law. Are people concerned about this? Lou in Ohio, active duty just 2 months ago. Go ahead, Lou.
Hey, Alex, love you, brother. I honestly want to thank you. About 2 years into my service in Army Special Operations, I started watching some of your documentaries and started reading a little Jim Mars. And when my ETS day came up, I got out of there as fast as I could. I just want to say that there are two things that I really feel like we need to be doing. One, I know we got some lawyers. You have to know some lawyers on our side, right?
There are quite a few.
Well, let's get the evidence. Let's get the witnesses of this voter fraud. Let's put it in the courts, and let's force them to acknowledge our rights. We can't let this slide. We got all these people behind Ron Paul this year. If we just take this sitting down, how are we going to recover from that?
Well, you're right, and I intend to get into that in the next hour. That was actually next on my list. Video of the election fraud, the fact that he did start winning a bunch of delegates, and they had the police come in and arrest them, and they admitted that it was part of a regular delegate fight, and that's how it's normally done. But this time they arrested the Ron Paul supporters and gave the delegates to Mitt Romney. And, of course, you're alluding to that. And there was election fraud in Iowa. There was election fraud in Maine, 100% confirmed in Maine that Ron Paul won, and they just didn't give it to him. That's what I'm saying. What do you do when they're doing stuff like that?
Well, I think the second thing we need to do is we need to make it clear to the GOP that we're not voting as Republicans. We're not voting for Ron Paul as a Republican. We're voting for Ron Paul. And if he doesn't get it, we're not going to vote for Mitt Romney. So if they steal it from him, they're not going to get their candidate in because his votes are leaving.
Listen, I got a whole stack on that, and I promise I'm going to get to that, and it's important, but soon it won't even matter when you've got the federal government activating all these martial law provisions as fast as they can. They're doing that for a reason. They're getting ready for a bigger economic collapse, an Iran war, it may be a big false flag. All I know is danger, danger, Will Robinson. And we've got to make the fact that impeachment proceedings that can lead to the impeachment of Obama have begun in the House. It's not getting any coverage over the fact that he's launching wars. When the president's launching wars without congressional approval, folks, that's martial law. When he's turning off power plants outside of law so his buddies make more money with their plants, that's martial law. When they're federalizing things, that's martial law. Martial law just means doing what you want. Rule of the dictator, rule of the junta. Let's go to Eric in Texas, who is a police officer. Go ahead, Eric. Thank you for holding.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you taking my call. I hope you can hear me okay. I've been kind of under the weather, though.
No, I can hear you.
A couple of things real quick. Number one, I just want to say the establishment is scared of us, okay, or else they wouldn't be pushing this federalized takeover of law enforcement and in general, okay? They want to get us under their thumb.
Yeah, they're criminals. They're criminals. Yeah, and the mafia wants to take over every department and every jury and grand jury in the country so they can really engage in some crime.
Right. But we're not a bunch of dumb gorillas, okay? I can tell you that right now. I'm a police officer. I'm a firearms instructor, tactics instructor. I preach to my guys all the time the message of Oath Keepers, the message of the Constitution, and I can just tell you, when it comes down to those questions that you're asking, you know, will you obey when they tell you to do something illegal, something unconstitutional? There's a whole lot of police officers that are not going to do it. I'm big on preaching this. I'm a lifetime member of Oath Keepers. I wear my Oath Keeper T-shirt with my gun and badge all the time. I wear InfoWars T-shirts with my gun and badge all the time, and I would encourage other officers to do the same because the citizenry looks at that. I can't tell you how many times people have come up to me and said, man, I love that T-shirt. I love that message. They're looking to police officers and the military, too, to provide some leadership for them. We live in dark times, but I think if we will get that message out there, you know, taking flyers to the grocery store. I take them with my kids, put up flyers at the grocery store, you know, InfoWars stuff.
We've got to get aggressive and start your own organization.
Absolutely.
But listen, I can hear it in the spirit that you're putting out here is one of truth. As bad as stuff is, folks, we haven't gone down the slide yet. I just got chills. This is the preparation. I mean, these are really bad people that have taken over the federal government. They are the nastiest types you can imagine. We're all in danger, folks. And America knows that. Look at the gun sales. Is that not a positive thing? I'm going to hold you over, but is that not positive?
That is a beautiful thing. I am all about the armed citizenry. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Let me ask you this question. What do you do, though, when they do dirty tricks and blow stuff up and blame it on libertarian conservatives to try to turn the police and military against each other? You know they're not just going to launch this takeover without staging some stuff. I want to ask you about that when we come back. Then we'll go to Joseph, Blaze. We got Corey. There's so many calls coming in. At 8 after, we've got a famous civil rights activist joining us. Now, I look forward to that because it turns out he was with George Clooney last week. And again, I don't like what's being done to the Christians in Sudan. So it's a complex issue. We'll be discussing that as well. Stay with us. Hello, I'm Alex Jones. Myself, my family, the Infowars.com team want to relay to you and your families that we are intensifying our efforts against the globalists on every front. Infowars.com is leading the fight against the technocrats. But we can't do that without your help. By getting the films, bumper stickers, and T-shirts at Infowars.com, you will wake up people in your area and support our operation as we move to the next level. We need your help to spread the word like never before. They wish to hide themselves during this tectonic battle between the forces of freedom and darkness. You are the response to the globalist technocrats and their program of global eugenics, dehumanization, and ultimate extermination. The war is here. It's an info war. The spirit of 1776 versus the mindset of 1984.
Don't answer it.
If fear strikes your heart when the phone rings, knowing it may be another bill collector, it's time for you to call Zero Debt in 90 days. 800-477-9256. Settlements, bankruptcy, and attorneys are not the answer and may end up costing you up to 10 times more than necessary. Listen, if you're already in debt, does it make sense to get buried in another payment plan? Zero Debt in 90 days gets you out of debt in 90 days guaranteed, without a payment plan and without attorneys or going to court. Get the fastest relief from debt on the planet when you call 800-477-9256. If you have debt with the IRS, credit cards, student loans, or a foreclosure, we can help at Zero Debt in 90 days, and we are the only organization to provide written guarantees on the results. Go to ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. That's ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. Or call now for free information. 800-477-9256. That's 800-477-9256.
Hi, I'm Mark Craighead, founder of Crossbreed Holsters. I designed our top-selling holster, the Super Tuck Deluxe, to solve the problems of being poked, pinched, and gouged while carrying concealed. The Super Tuck Deluxe is the most comfortable, most concealable holster on the market today. We offer a 2-week free trial and a lifetime warranty.
Visit us at crossbreedholsters.com. Don't forget, crossbreedholsters.com. In a coming-apart world, you need something to keep it tied together. That something is Atwood Rope, the highest quality rope made in the USA, from exotic braids for military, rescue, arborists, shipyards, tow line, or boating. Quality rope at affordable prices you and your customers can depend on. Find a dealer or shop online at atwoodrope.net. Enter promo code RADIO to receive 100 feet of 550 paracord free with purchase. Atwood Rope, working to keep the world tied together.
Every time I tell stories about stuff that happened to me back when I used to cover urban warfare drills, some of them that were unannounced, I see people saying I'm a liar. It says, if they pulled guns on you, Alex, where is the video? BS as usual. Remember 9/11 says, that's posted in the article, Obama executive order paves the way for nationalization of economy. Did you not hear what I said? They took our camera and erased the tape. That's why Mike Hansen said, I'm not giving you my camera. That's why there's not footage, moron. Ask Mike Hansen. And point is, we've got footage in Hebron, Maryland of them coming up to the camera guy with their guns, the Marines, and saying, turn your camera off. You know, I don't have footage of me in the woods at night in an urban warfare drill in